welcome back on my stream. I'm Dorota. I wanted to introduce myself here, so who I am. I'm obviously an amazing person. I am called Wonder Woman of Cyber, that's why I'm wearing red and blue. But I'm mostly a penetration tester that wants to be a red teamer in the future. So this is me. And today I wanted also to start with a disclaimer because I will be talking about my Covert Access Training Course. And so just wanted to share that, I am not doing any crime-related things here. It's all to learning purposes. I just want to be trained for a physical audit job or physical pentesting and become a part of a red team. So yeah, that's the disclaimer. No, nothing illegal is happening here. We are just learning. So I will just share what the course was about. So Cover Access team, they have a lot of courses. Cover Access training. There's physical audit certification training. I did that one as well. I'm a coming back customer, so with 3 courses, and I have 2 more planned as well from them. Counter elicitation, I think that would be my next one. Cyber bootcamp for black teams, that sounds interesting. Private instruction. This is the trainer, Brian. He's a super nice person, very experienced, very knowledgeable, amazing teachers. Yeah, he has this talent to explain things in a super interesting way. So yeah, I think that's amazing for a teacher. And so the Cover Access Training Course was a 5-day program that I had to travel to Copenhagen to go through. The 2 other courses that I mentioned before were online. But this one was really immersive in person, hands-on, so it's like really amazing. And although the price looks pretty high, but it's worth every penny. And what I really liked about this course as well, yeah, as a female especially, that the people that are on the course, on my course especially, pretty big names, and the opportunity to talk with those people in person and get some advice and look on life from like a different perspective was like a really valuable part of this course. So lock picking, lock bypassing. In the pictures on the right, you see that things are spread along the desk, and so you can just play around with them for 5 days. So it was really cool, and I don't own a flipper, so I could play with the flipper as well on the training. I could play with iCopy to clone badges. We were also making keys. I have some pictures, so I will share those in a moment. Yeah, and I learned also the authentication attack for cameras for Wi-Fi. So that was pretty cool. My first time doing that, and I did it also on the final assignment. Felt kind of like a James Bond thing. Get back lock picking, master keying, and keyed alert systems, key and lock impressioning. This is the key that I created myself, but I will show it later as well. So that was like really amazing experience. Be around as a newbie. So I'm really happy, and I feel like this course will be like an open door for like something amazing to happen in my life, because now I have really unique skills as a pen tester. And to get back again, the door and window bypassing, alarm system identification in bypassing, access control systems, ID badge cloning in attacks, also PAX reader attacks, building and obstacle scaling, social engineering, that was social engineering in elicitation. Thursday, we had also a teammate that wanted to elicit information from us, and then we had a moment to elicit some information from the partner. Didn't only had theoretical parts, key face features and how they change, what emotions do they disclose, and body language, and like what kind of approach could we take with social engineering, and how could we elicit information depending on how friendly the person is, in what mood the person is. But we could also practice to continue black team planning and operations, so that was pretty much the end assignment. We had members in the team, and everyone was good with something else. We had to share the tasks in between ourselves, create groups, and I think that was amazing to learn how do you work with the team. What are your talents? And from the all course, what interests you the most? Because yeah, some of the things I learned for the first time there. So just need 5 days of intense theoretical study, some practical parts, and successfully performed the assignment. And so yeah, target site reconnaissance. So we had full day before the assignment to do the recon and to walk around the building to find out what is the overlay of the building, where the cameras are placed, what is the entry pathway, how do we get upstairs, because we didn't have the card. It was like really cool to experience that. I don't want to share too much about the end assignment because maybe some of you might want to take part in the course. And yeah, I don't want to share the spoilers here because I came here not knowing what should expect. You learn on the job. So long range target site reconnaissance, long range reconnaissance, embedded reconnaissance, bugging implantable devices, and destructive entry. That's yeah, we learned that one as well. There was like one tool that we could use on the Eurolock that is very popular in Europe. So I don't if you can see the lock, maybe share it on my face because then you can. It's broken in the middle because that's the only part that holds the lock together. We used a tool that was holding the lock in place, and another tool that we just popped on the. We just need like 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters of the lock sticking out of the door to pop the tool on top and to move up and down. And I didn't even use a lot of strength. It was like really doing that with one hand up and down, and the lock broke. So as an European citizen, that's super scary that this is the lock that we are using here. So after this course, I saw all the locks that are not secure, entrances at gates that have not sufficient protection, and I could really pop those open in a few minutes. So with that knowledge, you know things, and that's that's sometimes a bit scary, maybe. Uh, yeah, like a group or planning a bank robbery. So kind of, but the we aren't really. There's no malicious intent there. We have like documentation from the client, and what the client wants us to do is to check if he's secure, because if that's big cybersecurity company or production site maybe, or maybe electric energy company, if they are not, if they have like strong security posture, cybersecurity posture, and they'll have all the right tools and like all the right I don't know, things set up in place. So I don't know, on the cybersecurity part, they are secure, but maybe they have blind spots in the cameras or like easy access through outside, so someone could sneak in and enter their server room and do some damage from like the inside of the building. So yeah, I think that's why we are learning that to also know what are the vulnerabilities on the physical part as well, because if you I do believe that it's true that if you don't have the physical security, your cyber security posture is really easy to break as well if you gain access to a building. So yeah, I think both of those are important yeah, to have in mind. A question in the chat about the lock. So it's destroyed broken, or you can put it in place. So with this lock being broken and this part fell off, so I had only this part in the lock. So I just push it inside, and the door have no lock, so I can just enter. So, and if that happens, I can also replace the lock with my own lock if I want persistence. But then it will not be covered anymore because the person that owns the building, I don't know, has keys to that lock, will have no access anymore. So the person will know that something suspicious happened here. So, but we can, for example, there also like I learned that we can make impression the key if we have the lock, the right lock, and then maybe replace the lock with like the right key structure, so that could be like a persistent gaining way that would go unnoticed for clients. We put it in the report and share it to the client what we did there. But I'm not saying that we should do it like on malicious purposes here. Just as an assignment, like with get out of the jail card signed there. So when the police shows up, we have an explanation. Okay, well, I'm here on the job for this client, and like everything is here lawful, and no suspicious things are going on here. So please don't, so please don't put me in jail right here. So now you pay attention to the physical security everywhere. Yeah, I think yeah, you see all of the things that are not proper after this training, and it doesn't really need much of your effort. So yeah, I think that's what will happen. Yes, and also what on the training, Brian explained, like if you are on assignment and police shows up, please uh, just do as they tell you. Just if they tell you like keep your hands up, just do that, and because you might have like a uh, trigger like to put your hand down into your pocket and show them your documents, but then keep your hands up and tell them where they could reach so they can take the documentation themselves. So yeah, this is you get pretty cool looking certification at the end, and you're pretty much prepared to do physical pen testing and physical audit as well. So yes, I advise you to do that course if that's something that you're interested in. But yeah, I wanted to also share. So the first day, we this is the picture from one of the previous trainings. So they went on the roof, but on the day we were doing the assignment, it was really pouring. So we had a picture in the building. So the day first day was fundamental theories. So we started with that. And what is really physical pen testing? What is covert access? What are like the basics there? And then we went to logs, and like the whole day we learned like all kinds of logs there. Uh, we had like the logs in front of us, so we could play with different log picks, like all different techniques. And yeah, we learned how to open key boxes here as well. There's like the key box on the picture. There are like different logs, yeah, that I opened as well, and different keys as well. I will not share like any super big details here. You will all find out what is happening in the course, like actually on the course. But I just wanted to encourage you to look into that course, and I am sharing that because I genuinely believe that course is amazing, and I really like Brian. And this stream is not sponsored in any way from the Covert Access team. It's just my passion and wanted to share my experiences. So yeah, all kinds of locks here. So we said like we see here, tubular locks, ward, wafer, cross, cabinet, elevator bypass, then uh, alt car key bypass, telephony boxes, and how to gain access to those. But yeah, also construction equipment, and TSC locks, and many more. So yeah, that's the picture of the key box, and the key box that was like pretty cool because your first instinct is to like find out what is the combination, so play around with the numbers, for example. So you could do that, but a faster way is to use the tool that is on the left, or like with the green handle, check for like the surface, and when you move the combination button around, you find one that has a very flat surface, and then you have to move the numbers 5 from that place. Or also like when you find a dimple, if you can see here, there's like this line, and the dimple near the number is on the similar level as the line. So when you have all of the dimples lined up and there's like a line there, you just open the with the black button. So I didn't know that before. That's pretty cool to know. And now with like the training, I could open that key box in like under a minute. So yeah, that was interesting to find out as well. So yeah, that's what happened on the training. We had the logs lying around, and then this is the device that you can measure how deep the hole in the like the empty key should go. So you, for example, one, that's yeah, that's not very deep, so that's like almost like here. But if you go seven, that's like pretty deep up to here. So yeah, that's interesting. And also we can use. Oh, we also like we had the lock here. We put the lock into smaller parts, so it was kind of like reverse engineering a lock to know what is inside and how to create a key from what we see inside of the lock, and where we should put it, like the which part of the key should be filed down and to what depth. So yeah, that was interesting. And also I learned that we can use this tool, like we can press on it and put it deeper into the lock and then open it by just pressure on both sides. So that was interesting. I didn't know that is possible even. So and yeah, so you also learned combination locks, how to open those, how to and how to lockpick as well. And yeah, yeah, from conclusion, like same as my colleague, from zero knowledge on physical hacking. Yeah, I had a lot at the end of the day. I could open a lot of locks. I learned how to create a key, what is inside of a lock, what is inside of the key box. Yeah, there is a key, but how to open one in certain ways. So that was day one. And then on Tuesday, so that's day two, we were refreshing the knowledge from the day before at the beginning. So we played some more with like the key boxes, with the lock picks, and like with opening locks. And then we have different lock combinations. We also learned how to what we need to do to open the locks from like the baggage. That's also very easy. And so yeah, and then on the day two, we were cloning keys, bypassing the manual and digital door security, infiltrating target building and elevator fundamentals, and hacking into elevator, finding out what are like the different modes of the elevator and which ones we shouldn't use. So I have it in my notes. I found it. Fire mode. We shouldn't, because security of the building in case there is a fire. That's the problem if we tamper with that. But also we could, if that's like on for assignment. And there's also a normal mode that the elevator works, and independent mode that is encouraged to use on an assignment. But inspection mode is something that we should never use. That's what was important. And there's also fire modes, has mode 1 and mode 2. And we should only use the mode 1. And also what else? There is also different modes, but the four ones that I already mentioned are like the important ones. But also like we have attendant mode, express mode. That if you use that one, it goes straight to you if you call the elevator with express mode, and so it's a bypass to all codes in between, because that's a VIP. So maybe that's like yeah, that's for VIP use. And also the Sabbath mode, so that could be found especially in New York. So a Sabbath mode is because on Sabbath you cannot use electronic devices. So then the elevator loops and stops on every floor for that period of time. And we can also have code blue, so that's for hospitals and allows you to take over the elevator, but please don't take over any elevators in hospitals, because that's like life is in danger here, and we don't want to take any lives on an assignment, so please don't use the code blue. And yeah, take over any elevators in hospitals. So that was yeah, not that is not encouraged. And also there's code pink that turns elevator into a man trap on the ground floor. And also there's riot mode, especially for embassies that will operate normally but will not go to the ground floor. So that if there's like a riot in the embassy, then it will not go on the ground floor, so the rioters cannot enter. So yeah, what I could imagine would happen is you just go to floor 1 if you want to leave the building and use the staircase, I guess, or like emergency entrance. Okay, so yeah, I have a lot of notes, a lot of emotions there, so it's also like a good stream for me to curb my emotions and to learn how to talk slower when I just really want to talk a lot and like share a lot of information at the same time. So yeah, and we were making, yeah, that's what I will have it in my pictures and have some videos as well. I will share those in a moment. So yeah, we are making keys here. So we have the key, we have the impression form, and we have some special metal kind of fluid here that we were making into a fluid under fire. And yeah, and put it inside of the impression. Yeah, and so I have a video. I will share that in a moment as well. So because on the not always on the first try you had a perfect key. I actually had a perfect key. Maybe that's a good moment to share. This was my first key. It broke in my lock, but I had it one perfectly made, although it had a hole here. Uh, but I could put it into a lock and turn the key, so that was pretty cool. That I was able to do it on the first try, and then I had two more. So I had this lock as well. That was my second try, and I wanted to present because I also took the lock. I can put that one inside of the lock as well and take it away, take it out of the lock. So put it in, and that's the key I made myself. So yeah, maybe I should be a key maker or something like that. But this one has so many holes and imperfections that I cannot turn it inside of the lock. So it's a souvenir from like a nice memory. And actually, the far ahead I went. So this is my first try because not everyone had it. Okay, had a perfect copy on the first try, so we kept on working. It was like an art class, so it was pretty cool. So the third one was super imperfect, so this one I couldn't. Yeah, it would probably be stuck inside the lock, so I didn't even try to put it inside. But the interesting thing was that we were working outside because of like the fire and like the smells. But like the people were walking around and no one really paid attention. No one was wondering what we are doing here. It just looked like an art class here, and we are having fun. So that's what we were doing actually. Okay, so going back to the what was I talking about? Key impression in here, and then we learned more about bypassing in manual digital door security, and then we were opening doors, so we were shimming. This is like the papery plastic card that we used to put like inside of the lock that didn't have that latch, and it's just like pretty much putting your body weight on the door and just pushing in the lock part that is that moves inside of the lock, and you just enter the door like under 1 minute. That's really that's really scary, I think, but That's why you need maybe several locks, or maybe, yeah, like a lock with the dead latch there. So yeah, and then we also use the under door tool. Maybe should make it a bit smaller. So I have a video that I want to show you. We also had cake because one of the colleagues were making sure that we don't lose too much weight on the training. So we had cake, but we were using under doors tool there to grab the handle and open the door that way. So we can find, this is what is happening in hotels, for example. So yeah, what protection we could use is to put some protection on the end of the handle here to block it inside, so it cannot be moved in that way, or use another lock, or just use like a different shape of the handle, so it's like, for example, flowy. So then the device will fall off the handle, so we cannot open the door that way. That's like what I wanted to share here. And so infiltrating target building, we learned how to make backup plans, how to recon, what are like the common strategies there. We learned which fences we shouldn't try to jump or like climb, because yeah, that might be damage to our bodies. It's dangerous. What were like, for example, the security. For example, we could have ground sensors, and I didn't know about that. So it's also interesting. But yeah, and so yeah, first, before the assignment, you spend some days on your recon, and we learned that too here. And elevator fundamentals, that's what I shared, the modes. That was interesting to learn as well. Yeah, and that was the day 2. It's like, doesn't look like much, but it was like really intense training. And after those, a full day, because we were finishing, we started 9 a.m. and finished around 6. So yeah, a lot of knowledge. And also day 3, I'm using that because yeah, it's better for me to remember what was happening with like some visuals. So wanted to thank my colleague Alexis for creating those blog posts. So yeah, let's continue. Highlights. So we learn about alarm systems, identification and bypassing. That was actually the door that I learned how to bypass, because it's motion detection. How easy is to bypass systems that look very complicated on your first instinct, for your first look. So okay, and then we were hunting vulnerabilities and physical access control systems. So we learned how to open the telephony boxes, how to this is the card reader. So we were cloning badges there using on the reader. We had like a special device that we used on the reader to check what kind of a frequency it expects, so what kind of a card it needs. And then we were cloning badges, so we use the tools that we use was iCopy is on the right. I learned how to clone a badge with Flipper. I don't own a Flipper, so that was very interesting to me. I want to get one as actually. It's super exciting tool, but it's maybe not the fastest to clone the badge. That's why the iCopy XS is encouraged, because iCopy takes just a few seconds, and with the Flipper it takes a bit longer. And if you want to, yeah, we learned how to hide an extender to clone the badge in a way that is not, yeah, it's very covered and like not obvious what we were doing here, and like some tactics that if we connect social engineering with cloning the badge, then we have like a whole different level of, yeah, possibilities there. So that's what we learned on the day 3. Now I wanted to share the pictures with you guys. I think I already have those open. uh, here. So yeah, Covert Access team. If you notice that they have a black cat in the logo, so I own a black cat as well. So I felt my black cat wanted to take part in the training, or packed herself into my suitcase. But to share more, that's the lock that we can get from Amazon, and it's like it's pretty cool lock because you see the pins there, and you see what is happening inside of the lock when you uh, pick it. And it's I don't think it's as well. It's not very difficult to pick, so it's a good training as well to just get it off Amazon and train. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that because lockpicking is not legal. It's not entirely legal in Poland, and you have to have special documents saying that you are a key maker. So I would probably have to become a key maker, but actually I kind of already am one. I created some keys here. That's the log that uses this kind of a key. And so those are the picks that we could use actually inside of that log. Yeah, and this is my cheese sandwich. I think that's important picture because that cheese was the best thing I had all week, kind of. This is funny because I'm a cheese enthusiast, but what I actually wanted to show on this picture is that we had access to the logs all day for like 5 days, and we had a lot of devices lying on the table, so that is my main purpose of showing that picture. And you could just like reach out for like, okay, I need like a mental break from what is happening here, and I just need to tinker. So we just tinker, then listening to what the instructor was saying the whole time, then you get like a kind of like a brain reset there. But yeah, more of the logs that we could pick there, play around with, and like see what is inside, uh, learn more about them, and like keys and like all kinds of like structures. Yeah, and pigs from in like a very cute container that looks very professional. Yeah, and then the key impressioning on the outside. That's like the art project part of my pictures. Uh, yeah, so there's like we had glasses. Those are like and the container on the left. We had the forms for work. We put the metal in. There we have the metal that we had to yeah uh, help the metal to change the consistency into fluid on the fire, so that I will share later. Uh, and there's like the special tools that we use, like uh, the ones that looks like a spoon. We were working with the metal under above fire, and then like the ones with like the wooden handle. We could use that device to, if I have it on the pictures below. Next, so I could use like my broken part of the key with that device to put it inside of the lock and still be able to turn. And this is how we impression the key. So also we have like the black file here. So we use the file to file down the if there's any imperfection on the key, and a candle with the fire that we'll use later. This is how I worked with the metal. This is I placed it on the above the fire. Yeah, again, at project pictures. Yeah, that's how the metal looked in liquid form. As you can imagine, I felt like this is like a metal kind of raclette kind of a party there. I had a key impression here, so that's why how it looked like. This is like the original key that I had in the form, making the impression. And then I took the key out, and yeah, I had a key, hole, so I placed the metal inside, like so. Yeah. And then, okay, this is like how we were impressioning the keys. Yeah, it's like a pretty cool art project there. And this is also my second key, how I was creating that one. Uh, some more pictures, how it looked like when I took it out of it. So you see on the bottom there's some imperfection. So I just used the file to remove that part so I could place it inside of the lock. And like my colleague made one as well. Yeah, another one. And there's the keys that other people made on the previous trainings. They didn't want it to take them as a souvenir, I guess. So the result varies, as you can see. Uh, oh, how long until the key is done once the liquid is placed? So I had to wait like a minute or 2 minutes before it's like cool. I used like a file to just tap it on top of the form when it was like the silvery thing is. So when it was like the knock 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 kind of, and I didn't make any impressions, so I knew that it's okay, and I could touch the key then. So I said, okay, this is cool enough, and I could open it. So when you open it, then for a moment you probably wait because I first one I went a bit too quickly and it was still warm. I didn't burn my fingers, but yeah, it was still warm. So the second one I was waiting, and that's what we were also making. Like if you make the key, you should make like a holes on the side. Uh, my colleague didn't have a lot of art skills, so it's not super perfect here. So we can see that if you don't connect the corridor here to the key, the air doesn't have room to escape. So that's how the keys weren't super perfect there. But like you see on the bottom here, there's like the hole for the air access. So yeah, that was pretty cool experience. And here I'm opening the form. Yeah, you can see it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's my second one actually. I recorded it as this one. I don't know if you can see. I hope so. Uh, so it has some imperfection here, so it's not. Yeah, it's not super perfect. I can still put it inside of the log. Uh, so yeah, take it out. So it does. It's not blocked. So it's pretty close to perfection. Uh, yeah, I think that's a good try. And this is like the tool I told you, like when my first key broke inside of the lock, but I was able to pull it out, this part, uh, so I could use the device to use it still in the lock. So yeah, so yeah, you should, if you're making keys, you should probably make it the impression in a way that you also have the upper part so you can hold it in your fingers. But if you don't have that part, you can use the device, this tool, and you can still use it as a key. And what else? Here, another artistic picture. And this is yeah, a different form. So this is like a flat that you can put inside of your pocket. Yeah, so that's like my colleague was making that one. And yeah, the key that he made. Another, this is my third that wasn't so perfect anymore. Yeah, so the three of them. If you couldn't see, like with me, with my hand up, you can see on the picture, like the one on the bottom is the one that broke. It's like the most perfect one. The second one still can put it inside, but like the imperfection made it impossible to turn. And the third one, I couldn't put it inside. I should probably file down the imperfection, but probably couldn't turn it inside because it was incomplete. Yeah, another key here. Yeah, and here, uh, yeah, another another picture. But okay, let's get back to the class. I'm typing in the chat how this tool called. But if you Google that tool, you can see on the YouTube videos. There's also like a commercial of this company that shows how you pull out this device, so you can pop the logs from from underneath. Sometimes there is also like only like a short part, like for example, this is the door. So on the door, there's also only like a short part of a metal covering the lock. But if you use it uh, like 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 with the tool, you can go from underneath and also shim it from underneath with this tool. So put the lock inside by putting pressure from below. So yeah, that's the tool. Actually, I made a lot of pictures because I just want to research those tools on my own, and maybe if I will become actually the physical auditor, I will create my own set of tools to carry around in the backpack. That's the underdoor tool. I also work with that. On the first time, I wasn't successful, so I gave up. But then my colleague went. I think that's the colleague working on the door at the moment. So I came back because I felt like, yeah, if I will not be successful, I will feel very bad about myself and very frustrated that I didn't succeed. So went back and I was successful, and it was like much faster because it's the hardest part is to figure out how in what direction, yeah, in what direction you I yeah, it's like they're talking, so I cannot focus, but you cannot hear it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So the hardest part is to figure out which direction you should move the tool, because it's the opposite of what you would do. Is like the mirror reflection of what your movement should be. So that was pretty difficult for me at the first time to figure out in what direction I should move the under the door tool, but it was like pretty cool experience. And you can buy those and you can create one yourself as well. So yeah, this when you don't have the dead latch, uh, you have some interesting ways to enter the building and open the doors here. And also what I have, yeah, needs practice definitely. So I'm super happy that I went on this training because yeah, I was volunteering for every uh, practical example. So I went through everything. So I was lock picking, I was breaking locks, I was using uh, I was shimming doors with like the plasticky paper. I was using the underdoor tool. I was also disabling alarms with Brian calls it a big scary magnet. So that was funny that the big scary magnet is something that we can use to disable the alarm. And also a side note that he shared with us, if we have like a alarm or like the card scanner on the door handle or on the door, we can use the big scary magnet to break it, disable the signal, and just to break the electronic device with like the shear force of like the magnetic field. So that was interesting as well. And this is like the card reader that we had available on the training, and we found 3 ways to disable it. And so this is the device that we use to find what is the frequency for the cards. Yeah, a picture for myself for my future lab. More pictures of this device and the flipper. I have some pictures of the flipper here. I think it's cute, and also like a card reader. That was the alarm actually. That was yeah. So we were working with the magnet to disable, and the cards. This is the iCopy that we use to scan the cards in few seconds as well. So yeah, I created a picture because I want one. If it's like super quick and takes few seconds, then with an extender, that's what I need in my purse, I guess. Uh, that's the what I was playing around with the frequency analyzer on the flipper. I felt like this is the cute part with the cats there. So that's the picture, and it's like the alarm that we were disabling on the door. So if we put those two parts, separate those two parts, there will be an alarm. But if we use the magnet, uh, we also use like a very tiny magnet that we just placed on the bigger device, and we then set them apart. So that was the one way to disable the alarm. But on the door, we used a bigger magnet because then we needed to be sure that it will not sound the alarm on an assignment. So yeah, that was the alarm device that we used to it. And this is the card reader that we had available to play around when we copied the cards. And so yeah, we saw that it used the weekend I don't know, a system inside. So the weekend is not secure one, but how Brian explained it is that's the most common one, because the secure one is explained at the end of the manual for the card reader. So probably the people that set those in place are maybe too frustrated to do it again after they set the weekend system in. I took some pictures what Brian had in his toolbox for future shopping as well. So we could play around with those as well, and he explained how to use those. Yeah, Bash Bunny is more recommended than the rubber ducky, and that's the also he had like an idea how we gain persistence in like the camera systems, that we can use those to pin into the camera system from the outside. So just unplug the camera and plug it into our laptop, so we can have the camera feed of the inside of the building. Yeah, another device. I don't know exactly what this one is, but I just made a picture to research it later. That's like an extendable cable here. I felt like the design is pretty funny, that you can just like pop it like on the sides, and then it hides itself in if you let it go. Yeah, the Hack 5 toolbox. That was like a pretty cool watch to have, because under the 6 here, I'll maybe make it bigger. Under the 6, there's a camera, so that's funny. Maybe not funny. That might be useful actually, but it may limit the feed that you could record. So what is recommended is also like to use your phone like this, like you're talking with your renovation guy, and at the same time you're going around recording. And yeah, we had like a badge that we could clone, and ones were like low frequency, ones were high. So like the key boxes that I told was talking about, that you check the dimples, and like yeah. So that's the thing that you could not learn online. You need to go and learn that on person. And Brian is very welcoming and like really good explaining things. So he taught me how to open that key box pretty fast. And that's like the part of the assignment I did. Like I had the very cool device that looks like a watch, and with that device I performed Wi-Fi the authentication attack on a camera. So yeah, what I was doing here, I uh, I found the network. The actual pen test. I did it in a few seconds. And so, yeah, we had no problems entering the room that we needed to do. And so the deount, you can also do the beacon or probe attack, but yeah, I just needed the deout one. And then, yeah, I didn't press start because I didn't actually wanted to attack that network. But that's what if you press start, then the camera went off. We were the first team that finished all the flags. So yeah, just wanted to share because I'm super proud of being part of the assignment and like being part of the group. And this is how the certification looks like at the end. It's pretty cool, and I'm seriously very proud of having the obtaining that certification because at the beginning I wasn't super sure if I'm going to get it, but on day 3, I was starting to feel more confident about my knowledge and my hands-on skills. And so when on Thursday we performed the recon, I went upstairs and I could actually practice some things before I felt like, oh, I'm not sure if I could do it. It doesn't feel like this is super lawful or legal. But we did have documentation on allowing us and explaining, okay, you are a part of this assignment called like this, and all like the team members are listed here. So this is your get out of jail free card. So yeah, with that document in hand, I felt like more confident and like more sure that yeah, I have it and I have permission to perform things and to look for vulnerabilities. So yeah, that was great, and yeah, and so this is my certification. I think I said everything that I wanted to say is here. Uh, Again, this is if anyone joined a bit later and doesn't know what I was talking about. This is the Covert Access Training Course from the Covert Access team. And yeah, I really encourage it. And also, if you use, I will write it in the chat right now. If you use the Rota 10 in your at checkout, you will get 10% discount on buying this course. So I also encourage to use the discount or not. You don't have to. It's just if you want extra $400 in your pockets, this might be a good idea. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share here. Thank you for coming and listening to my experiences, to listening what I wanted to share here. And a final slide is Patreon supporters. And also, you have links below that you can maybe subscribe to my Twitch channel, to my YouTube channel. Maybe you want to follow me on LinkedIn, or maybe you want to connect, and I encourage you to do that. Thank you for coming to my stream. And I wanted to thank to my Patreon supporters, King Crowley and Ghostface Killer. Thank you for believing in me and supporting my growth here on Twitch. I'm still learning, so I'm not a pro here. You've probably heard that I have sometimes problems with finding the right vocabulary or pronouncing English words, but I'm really trying here and I want to share my passion I want to share my knowledge with you. And if you maybe want to learn something new, then just go ahead and come listen to my experiences. I will continue with inviting my heroes into my stream. And yeah, and thank you again for coming. I'm really honored that I had, I think, 7 people in my stream again. But even if there will be only one, I would be super grateful anyway, because one is a crowd. So again, thank you and see you next week.